With Marvel's Iron Fist soon to be released, the Doopie Bros got thinking, how can we watch without a Netflix subscription? Sorry, I mean, we were wondering how much ass is Danny Rand gonna kick? If our final defender is anything like his comic book counterpart, it should be an awful lot. You see, Danny's achieved some pretty impressive feats in the past, a few of which we'll be touching on in this video, but despite all this, the guy is rather underrated.
So who is Iron Fist and just what can he do? Well, there's a bit of a clue in the name, but just in case you're dim-witted, Danny can focus his life force energy, or chi, to enhance his physical attributes like his reflexes, durability, strength, speed, and stamina. His fighting skills are also over 9,000! And you thought he just punched things really hard? Okay, he does. But this dude has some other equally badass skills, though he is vulnerable to certain forms of attack.
To keep this from being a list of simple one-punch wins, we thought we'd test those vulnerabilities as well as Danny's full skill set. Starting off at the street level, we'll pit Iron Fist against a variety of opponents with differing abilities, gradually working his way up to the final boss.
Please remember, this is all subjective. As with previous videos, we often select characters with a slim but credible chance of winning. For each scenario, we'll give you our full reasoning, so it's really helpful to use those holes on the side of your head. But if you do disagree, feel free to leave all your harassment in the comments. Now on with the list. Excelsior!
Number 5, Daredevil.
Okay, we know this ain't a fair matchup. Unless, Daredevil's possessed by a demon. So we're adding the proviso that Danny can't use his powers for this particular bout. Luckily for Matt, he's one of Marvel's top tier martial artists. That elite group of guys and gals who don't even need powers to kick the crap out of you. As such, Daredevil beats criminals by night, then defends them by day, meaning he has a constant stream of renewable income. They do say the best defense is a good offense. Matt isn't just some chump though, he's a highly trained chump with heightened senses and 360-degree radar vision, despite his eyeballs not working. Most of all though, he's a good Catholic boy, which means he can get away with just about anything, even finger-banging Black Cat, so long as he confesses his sins afterwards. Crucially though, he does stop short of killing his opponents.
Clearly, without his powers, the man in the green PJs is going to have a tough time with Daredevil. His ability to soak up punishment means he'll take Danny all the way. DD also has an advantage in his blind sight and heightened senses, meaning he could use darkness and stealth to his advantage. Both combatants are in peak physical condition too, so it's really their fighting styles that separate them. Befitting of a character inspired by classic 70s kung fu movies, Danny surely has the superior training. So after a heated, drawn-out battle, Iron Fist should come out victorious. Daredevil might be the man without fear, but after this contest, he'll also be the man without teeth, self-respect, and ultimately life itself.
Number 4, Blade.
Against a fully powered Iron Fist, this one's definitely a fairer matchup. And with the character rights safely back with Marvel, this is a bout that could potentially happen on screen in future. So what can we expect? Well, not unlike Daredevil, the Daywalker is also a highly competent combatant, except he's physically superior and uses knives and stabbing weapons. Just don't touch his pig sticker, whatever you do. Though Eric Brooks is a master in martial arts, he's not in the same league when it comes to Iron Fisticuffs. He does have his advantages though. After being bitten by Morbius, Blade develops superhuman strength, speed and stamina. He also has an arsenal of weapons at his disposal, plus many years experience in the game. Yes, Blade's definitely got game, but Danny's no stranger to facing off against stronger opponents. Like the Taxman, and Blade has fallen foul of that guy before.
Both characters have displayed low-level mystic abilities in the past, and Danny's powers stretch to forms of hypnosis and mild telepathy. As demonstrated during the Maximum Carnage storyline, he can calm crowds of pissed-off people simply by focusing his chi, though it only worked for a second. Blade is resistant to hypnosis though, at least vampire hypnosis. At any rate, a telepathic exchange could prove an interesting intro for the fight, and we'd put money on Danny's powers being superior. Vampires are pretty lame after all. Blade might get staggered, but he'd recover quickly, going on to give Danny a couple of decent rounds. To further complicate matters, Blade has a pretty effective healing factor. Apparently it's almost on a par with Wolverine's. The rub being he's not able to regrow body parts. Having stopped a speeding train with just his fists, it's safe to assume Danny could punch Blade's head clean off. They don't call him the living weapon for nothing.
Number 3, Green Goblin.
Let's step things up with the Green Mean himself. Norman Osborn is but a humble businessman and weapons manufacturer with impeccable hair. Okay, he's a total dick, but he's not really a problem until he's exposed to the Goblin formula. It's basically like the super soldier serum, but for Halloween enthusiasts. Of course, he goes totally bonkers, arms himself with suitably gimmicky lethal weapons, and goes around murdering people. all while cackling like a lunatic. Despite his silly appearance though, the Goblin is very dangerous. His powers include superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, healing and agility. And as well as his bag of tricks, Gobby's big advantage is his glider, which Iron Fist would struggle to deal with. I mean, he could simply finish Danny with a hail of well-placed pumpkin bombs from distance, right? Well, actually, Danny has managed to evade rapid gunfire in the comics, meaning a couple of bombs should cause no problem.
Gobby could maybe try ramming speed, but Danny has also managed to dodge the likes of Iron Man, so a 90-mile-an-hour charge from the Goblin glider should pose no threat. Turns out Danny's chi is surprisingly well equipped to deal with all manner of long-distance Goblin attacks. Goblin blasts, Danny can absorb energy. Gas bombs and hallucinogens, Danny can resist poisons, even if Osborn tries to make him sleep. Danny's also capable of long-range chi attacks, which should do a good job of riling his opponent. In fact, this whole exercise is bound to piss off the Goblin, almost as much as a slapped hand from Aunt May. His only hope of engaging the living weapon is physically, and being the arrogant, insane son of a bitch he is, Normie would definitely oblige. As we know, Gobby is stronger and faster, but Danny just needs that one hit. And when it comes to combat skills, Goblin is meat and potatoes to Danny's caviar. Once they're face to face, Danny will make light work of Osborn. And though he does wear a form of body armor under that kooky outfit, it's no match for a good old iron fisting.
Number 2, Storm.
Despite a rather weak on-screen portrayal, Aurora Monroe is an enormously powerful mutant with a mega-level potential. She is a meteorologist's worst nightmare, however. She's both deadly and beautiful, and thus proves a big task for Mr. Danny Rand. Stay focused, Danny. Inevitably, he'll need a fair bit of prep time to take on Storm and her extensive array of attacks. First off the question, what happens to an Iron Fist when it's struck by lightning? Well, unlike a toad, Danny could probably dodge it, as he's done in the past. But if he were to get struck, he could very well absorb the energy as we saw with Gobby. Danny's also survived long periods in hostile temperatures, meaning he could probably handle any Sub-Zero attacks thrown his way, but not Scorpion attacks. Storm's biggest threat is her ability to generate incredibly powerful winds, and not the ones from a bumhole. It's a power she utilised when the two butted heads previously, but he did splatter in the face first.
Storm does have her weaknesses though. No, it's not her iffy fashion sense, or her fondness for risque new hairdos. Without body armour, our first black female superhero is susceptible to projectile and physical attack, if an opponent is lucky to get close enough. You have to hand it to her, she's a pretty decent fighter. There is another vulnerability Danny could exploit though, namely Aurora's extreme claustrophobia, a side effect of a plane crashing into a house and her being trapped under rubble for days. Danny has in the past shown the ability to create illusions in the mind of his opponents. Putting the psychological squeeze on Storm should in theory incapacitate the X-Man long enough to get close and deliver the required death blows. With all that said, Danny's best hope of taking out Storm would be to catch her off guard before she had time to conjure up too much nasty weather.
Number 1, Thing.
Not that thing. Or that one. As we know, Ben Grimm was caught in cosmic rays along with his buddies Reed, Sue and Johnny during the test flight for a new kind of rocket ship. While the others got amazing abilities and kept their looks, Ben was a little less fortunate, transforming as he did into a huge hulking orange rock monster. It's bad. Like, really bad. So bad that on returning to normal life he only gets laid by dating blind girls. On the plus side though, at least he's getting laid. We think. How exactly would that work? Fortunately, he also gained incredible strength and durability, meaning he's able to go toe-to-toe with some of the heaviest hitters out there. While the movies have done their best to kill the Thing, at least metaphorically speaking, we reckon Danny can actually do it. In his Rocky form, Ben Grimm nears class 100 strength, meaning just one blow gets him the win. Problem is, all that mass makes him rather slow and cumbersome, and given Danny's speed and agility, he'd struggle to tag Iron Fist at all. He's a nimble little minx. So while Ben is flailing around in a vain attempt to connect, Danny can sit back and pick his target over and over.
No doubt Ben poses the greatest physical threat on this list, and there may be detractors out there. However, it's been said Ben's tissues are impervious to an extraordinary extent, which implies there are limits to his invulnerability. And let us not forget that Danny was the man who took down a helicarrier with a single blow, and following his recent power upgrade, Danny's able to deliver high-powered blow after high-powered blow without tiring, so we're quietly confident he can chip away at Ben until he's a pile of rubble, as demonstrated here by Liu Kang. If you're still not convinced, the Thing has been physically injured in the comics, even being shown to bleed, and if Arnie has taught us anything over the last 30 years, it's that it's okay to cry when machines sacrifice themselves for the good of mankind. No, hang on, it's if it bleeds, we can kill it, which surely extends to fictional rock monsters too.
So there's our list. As you can see, Iron Fist is not a chap to muck with. But who do you think Danny Rand could defeat? Will he come up against a worthy adversary in the new series? Or just a bunch of henchmen chumps? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and be sure to send us your Netflix login credentials so that we can watch the show too.
On a serious note, we're doing our usual monthly giveaway, so if you'd like to win your very own personalised comic book art, tell us which character and scenario you'd like to appear in, and we'll pick a winner at the end of the month. Just imagine you could use it as your Tinder profile pic and impress all the geeky girls, or guys, or even rock monsters. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and check out these other Doopie videos, including this one about Hugh Jackman retiring as Wolverine. It's guaranteed to raise a smile, and possibly even make you cry like a little bitch. Thanks for watching!